Welcome to another Guerrilla Sports Off Court, a post-game live reaction where the Denver Nuggets fell short to the Minnesota Timberwolves yet again. I am your host for tonight, Liv Moods, and this is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Trusted American salary-based mortgage consultants want to help you get into a better interest rate and lower your monthly payments. So head to trustedamerican.com to see how they can help you save some money today.
Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, wow. What does one say? What does one say when not only was that potentially one of the most damaging games to my self-worth. I want to just point out a couple of things here because what I want to say is a lot of people, I do a lot of talking. I talk my trash. I chirp people, I want to just say this. Lakers fans, get up in the chat. Feel free to clown. You know what I mean? Because honestly, the Timberwolves are my who's your daddy Lakers karma. It is. I can feel it. Like the trash that I talk to Lakers fans, the way that I, never shut my mouth, honestly, never shut my mouth about the Lakers and how the Denver Nuggets owned them. And here I am getting a nice healthy dose of karma. And you know what? I believe in karma. I'm a believer of karma. More than that, I'm a believer of owning up to things I don't say correctly. I got to say it. I already know that have fun with Westbrook tweet is about to go crazy. It's about to go stupid. And for good reason, Feel free to clown, you guys. I can't even defend what I just watched. I can't. I have zero defense in my body. There's going to be a lot of other Denver streams out there, podcasts that are trying to find the positive in this situation. I'm not finding much right now. I'm going to be so honest. Matter of fact, I brought a glass of wine and I told you I would. I said, if we lose to this Timberwolves team on Tuesday night, let me tell you something right now. The glass will be poured. And it's going to be a heavy pour, and I will have it in my hand, and I am never a liar. You can call me a lot of things in life, but you can't call me a liar. You can also call me a lot of things in life, but you can never call me someone that does not hold herself accountable. Everybody and their grandma warned me about Russ in the playoffs. Now, if you think for 1 second that I am going to lose faith in Russ and forget that he is an MVP and forget that he has played 17 years in this league and he has not earned the respect that he has, you are wrong. And if you are the type of person that after watching a game like that, you are so quick to throw out the window all of the things Russ has done in his career, you're a weirdo still for that. That being said, cheers to the freaking weekend, and it's Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, missing a free throw, double overtime, fouling on the three-point line with 0.1 seconds left. Yeah, those are just things that you don't want to see the 17-year vet do, right? Like, that's just the facts of the matter here. You don't want to see him do it. You don't want to see him do it. I love Russ. I have nothing but respect and love for Russ. And at the end of the day, I don't do what he does. I don't do what any of these players do, okay? So I understand that there's levels to this ish. There is. That being said, you cannot make that mistake in this situation. This is do or die. I don't care what you guys say. Anytime this Nuggets team faces the Timberwolves in the regular season, you guys, it is April on a Tuesday night, and this felt like Game 7. You know why it felt like Game 7? Because the Timberwolves have had your neck for the last couple of seasons now. They have had you by the neck. So in order for you to make your fan base feel comfortable in what you're capable of in the playoffs, I would surely hope that you can handle the Minnesota Timberwolves, who really, from a seeding perspective, shouldn't pose that much of a threat to you. Chat, are we cooked? Listen, I'm not one, well, that's so not true. I was about to say I'm not one to be negative, but that's a lie. I'm very critical. Yes, I'm a very critical person. That is just my nature. It's who I am. It's how I make myself better in life. If I just blew smoke up my own butt every day, I would never change. I would never evolve. I would never get better. I'm going to be the same way for my team. Sorry. It's what you get on this show. If you want the blowing up the smoke up the behinds, I'm sure that is somewhere out there, but it's not going to be on this show because that was not okay. They were up by at least 16 points at one point in this game. They started off this game better than we see them start off most times against the Timberwolves. Normally, it's ugly from jump. What we're seeing, though, is there is only so much Nikola Jokic can do on his own. Offensively, I really wasn't that upset with what we got tonight, but the rebounding has to change. I knew before we got to this game the type of three-point shooting that the Timberwolves were capable of, okay? I knew that. You knew that, Nuggets. This is not new information. This is not new information. Victoria says, is this interactive chat or just you talking? Listen, Victoria, I'm getting some things off my chest, if you wouldn't mind. If this is your first time here, welcome. I will absolutely interact with the chat, but right now I just have some things I need to release. Okay, so please keep typing away in the chat. I see them; they're right in front of me. I will get to them, I promise you. But right now, I just gotta unload a little bit. Is that fair? I mean, I think that's fair because what we saw tonight was upsetting. I've got some Rochelle Westbrook comments in the comments section. Yeah. Sue me. Sue me that an MVP 17-year vet who's had many, many all-star appearances and has done a lot of really great things in this league deserves some respect. Sue me. Okay? I'm not always going to be right. I'm not always going to be right. Victoria, that is totally fine. Okay? I'm so happy you're here, seriously. And normally we have like some like good and bad things to talk about with the Denver Nuggets, but that game, I'm sorry. I'm not feeling any type of rainbows or butterflies right now. I'm really not. You know why I'm not? Because I have this fear deep inside of me that we are wasting the prime of the best player in the world because we just can't figure it out. And I could sit here and I could rattle off all the excuses, which I'm sure other people will do. Well, we were without Jamal and MPJ. Don't care. Of course I care. I want them out there. MPJ dealing with family issues. Jamal Murray, I don't know exactly what it was, but it was some sort of whatever injury he's been dealing with, he's still dealing with, which of course you want him healthy for the playoffs. Totally understandable. But that being said, it's not enough of an excuse, in my opinion. It's just simply not an excuse. You know why? Because there were suspended players on the Timberwolves that could have raised some hell tonight and weren't available. Okay. So I don't care. I don't care. You know who Anthony Edwards is. Okay. He gets that look in his eyes. I was sitting on the couch eating goldfish and I saw him do that nod on the bench. Like, uh huh. Are we seeing the same thing? Because I'm fully aware of what he's capable of bringing when it's do or die backs against the wall. And that's just it with this Nuggets team. They don't have that edge where if it is do or die backs against the wall, I don't trust them to get the job done. That's where I'm at. I look at this roster, I look at this talent, and I could say with a lot of certainty, that's a contending team. But what they're missing is that edge, that wow factor, that dog, where if it is down to the wire, I literally was sitting on the couch and I said, you have the best player in the world, one of the best closers in the game. You got to do something. Figure it out. And then here we go, another OT. Here we go, double OT. I mean, a lot of what we saw tonight is no longer excusable. Like, I have no excuses for this. Okay, you don't have a bench, but guess what? You have the luxury of having the best player in the world, and other teams can't say that. Other teams need their bench because they don't have Nikola Jokic. Okay, so I'm kind of running out of excuses here. Really, I am. And I love Russell Westbrook. I have nothing but respect for Russell Westbrook. So please don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. I'm not backpedaling or backtracking on me giving respect to someone that has earned it. And you're a weirdo if you don't give him the respect he's earned. If you are that type of fan that's like, well, look at him now. He's been in this league for 17 years. Let's not forget everything he's done. Lay off a little, okay? So I'm not going to sit here and backpedal on my respect for Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook should not have to be that guy. He should not have to be OKC prime Russ for this Denver Nuggets team, given what their starting five looks like. Everybody's got to step up. Yeah, we can probably point a lot of fingers to Russell Westbrook tonight. Trust me, that last 2 seconds of this game in double OT, oof, hard to excuse any of that. Hard to excuse any of that. There's really no excuse for it. Zero. When you are a 17-year vet, that is the part that I expect you to know better than the Jalen Pickett's, the Christian Browns, the Peyton Watsons. It's that back against the wall playing smart basketball. We didn't see that from Russ towards the end of this game. We also saw a lot of missed shots. We saw a lot of missed layups. We saw a lot of lazy offense, lazy defense, and that's what we have seen with this Nuggets team over and over and over. And I want to address this comment. Why is everyone acting like the season is over? No one's saying that the season's over. Of course not. But this is very indicative of the fear that I think Nuggets fans have as the playoffs are in sniffing distance, which is when you are face to face with a contender, with a team that can really give you problems, with a team that has a roster that is built to beat you, you freeze up like a deer in headlights. Yeah, sure. We watch you whoop up on the Utah Jazz and it's good and great. And it feels really, really awesome when we do. But then we see you against contenders and not pretenders. And you turn into a pretender a little bit. And that is stressful. And not only is it stressful for the fact that this could be a first round exit Nuggets team, which I don't want to believe is true, but it's starting to appear that way. But it's even more stressful given the fact that we're just poo-pooing away some of the greatest basketball we have ever witnessed in this modern era, which is Nikola Jokic. Come on now. What more do you want from the guy? 61, 10, and 10. This is a 61-point triple-double down the drain. Now, I understand double overtime. It definitely helps when you've got some extra minutes. It helps when you've got extra minutes being played, but 61 points and your team can't get it done? Your team can't get it done? It's not okay. It's inexcusable. When we look at the matchup between the two teams in this game, what really, really stands out to me is the second chance opportunities that Minnesota had offensively. 21 offensive rebounds compared to the Nuggets 8. Okay, the Nuggets 8. Your leading rebounder for the Denver Nuggets was actually Christian Brown. I want more from a Peyton Watson. Aaron Gordon gave you 30 tonight. I want more boards and offensive production from a Peyton Watson. He did have 4 blocks. We know what his defensive upside is when you bring him off the bench. We know that. That is not abnormal for Peyton Watson to bring that. Jalen Pickett, you can't really scrutinize him too much because he was a starter tonight for one of the very first times, and we haven't seen much of him as a starter. He was playing a lot of minutes tonight, 32 to be exact. But when you've got Christian Brown and Nikola Jokic played 52 minutes of basketball. 52 minutes of basketball. The rebounding was horrendous, you guys. Horrendous. I have no excuses for this. This team is too talented and too good to lose in the fashion that they lost in. There's just no words. And yes, the bench gave you very, very, very little, if not zero tonight. Now, in so many ways, do the Denver Nuggets have a bench that is trustworthy enough, that has built enough trust to be playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves when you already know that is a tough team to beat? Yeah, I don't think that they have. Have they been given a fair shot at valuable playing time this season to really develop as players? I mean, they've gotten more than they would otherwise, given all the injuries to the roster. But what I fear is this. Back in 2023, when this Nuggets team won a championship, they had that ability to like just figure it out. In a back against the wall situation, they could just figure it out. I don't have that trust with them at all. If they are not ahead by 20 going into the fourth quarter, I'm a nervous wreck. Even still, I'm probably a nervous wreck. But unless they are absolutely taking off, and this actually was very similar to a game earlier this season against the Timberwolves, where we were up with about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then it was 3-ball after 3-ball after 3-ball, and before you knew it, the Timberwolves were up, and our backs were against the wall, and we looked like deers in headlights, and we could not figure it out. And here we are again. Same story, different day. Same story, different day. That's where we're at. And so I am starting to look through the lens with this Nuggets team. I'm starting to look at them through a playoff lens. Do I trust this team in a 7-game series to figure it out? No, I don't. On paper, do they have what it takes in a 7-game series to win and advance in the playoffs? Yes. Do I trust them to do it? No, I don't. I don't. So again, I am going to let all of you, I'm going to start getting to some of these comments in a little bit. I'm actually going to take the time to read through some of these comments a little bit. While we play a clip, we're going to toss to Coach Malone following this game. Hear his thoughts on the ending of this game, because I think, like you and I, he probably shares a lot of strong opinions about how this game ended. So let's take a listen to what I'm going to set my wind down. I'm going to look through some of your comments. Let's take a listen to what Coach Malone has to say about the ending of this game. We'll reconvene. I'll pop some comments on the screen, and we'll get back to this venting, ranting session that we've got going on here. So let's check out what he's got to say on the ending of this matchup.
Tough break. You know what I mean? I think we did everything to put ourselves in position to win. You know, I thought our guys gave tremendous effort for 4 quarters, for 2 overtime periods. As a coach, I can't ask anything more, obviously. I feel awful for us, you know, that last play. We get the turnover, we don't convert, and then the foul. You know, but it was not from a lack of effort or care. And sometimes it goes like that. And that's why we just got to be strong. We got to be resilient. And obviously we have a game tomorrow night, but I don't think it should have gone to overtime. You know, I thought we had chances in the fourth quarter, and I didn't think our defense was able to get the stops when we needed to. But, I know it's a loss, but I'm really proud of our group for how we showed up tonight without Michael, without Jamal, and just battled all night long. And that's all I'll ever ask from my group.
To be honest, I'm a little shocked at his calm demeanor. I feel like I'm way more fired up than he is, and maybe he's tabling some of that so he can have a chance to like cool it down, figure out what went wrong. There's a lot of things that went wrong. I do want to address really quickly, because there are currently right now over 3,600 of you tuning in live, listening to me rant right now. I do want to say this. There's a lot of people reposting my Have Fun with Westbrook video. A bunch of people saying, oh my gosh, they're cooking her right now. You should probably unpin this video. I'm not going to unpin the video. This comes with the territory of my job. I said something early in the season that a lot of people were scared to say with their chest. There's a lot of games where I am really right about what I said about Westbrook. And then in games like tonight, I'm wrong. One thing about me is you will never be able to call me a coward. If I said it, if it's online, if it's on my page, I meant what I said when I said it, and I'm not unsaying what I said. So never, ever expect that out of Live Moods. You won't get it here. You won't get it on the next show. So no, I'm not going to unpin the video. Yeah, Russ absolutely screwed up. Did I have anything to do with that? No, I didn't. And in so many ways, if you are that boneheaded to not see the value he has brought to the Denver Nuggets this season, then I don't even want to have basketball conversations with you. Did he have a really bad night in terms of how that game ended and some of the decision-making skills that he had on the court? Sure. But what you're not going to see from me is me unpinning a video that's been on my page pinned for the last 6 months. You're not going to see it. So don't expect that. I will always stand by what I said, even if I'm dead wrong, because the difference between me and a lot of the trolls on Twitter that don't do what I do is they would never have the courage to do what I do. They would never have the courage to sit on a live with nearly 4,000 people and admit when they're wrong. Ever. Hence why they don't even have their own face as their profile picture, okay? So we are not the same. We're not in the same category, okay? I'm not unpinning the video. The video right now is aging like sour milk. Yes, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. And if you weren't here at the beginning of the show, you didn't hear me say, Lakers, this is my karma. This is my who's your daddy karma. I'm getting it. I'm getting it so good right now, and I'm accepting that, okay? The way I talk trash to you, I expect you to be in the chat right now talking trash to me. I don't care. But you're not going to see me unpin my video. You're not going to see me disrespect a 17-year vet in the NBA who has won an MVP, who has been in multiple all-star appearances. You're just not going to see it from me, okay? So if that's what you want in this show, you're not getting it, so log off. If you want me to admit that right now that video is aging poorly, you got it. I trust me. I know that. I'm putting together a video that I'm going to post on social media later of me reacting to the tail end of that game. It was not pretty. I was not happy. Just like you, I'm a fan of basketball. I love the game of basketball. So I'm not happy when players on my team don't make smart decisions. I'm not. But you're not going to see me unpin a video. You're not going to see me admit that I was dead wrong, because I don't think I was entirely. I do think Russell Westbrook has brought a lot of value to this Denver Nuggets team. And if you don't see that, you don't watch Denver Nuggets basketball. And it's very simple. I'm not going to argue with people that don't watch the Denver Nuggets. I'm not. Because Russ has brought value to this team. Period. Point blank, period. I'm not fighting with you on that. What I can say is there were a lot of Lakers fans that warned me about what Russ is like in the playoffs when it is do or die, when it is backs against the wall. I did have a lot of Lakers fans that said to me, hey, I know you're excited now, but wait till the playoffs. I'm starting to see some of that, of course. And I can tuck my tail and I can admit that. That, yeah, the turnovers are going to be costly in the playoffs. Absolutely. Fouling somebody on the 3-point line with 0.1 seconds left in the playoffs can't happen. As a 17-year vet, it just can't, especially if you want to make a deep playoff run. So for that, I can say, yeah, Lakers fans, your warnings, I hear them. I got you. I'm seeing what you were saying, but you're never, ever, ever going to see me unpin a video that I said with my chest, different from me to the trolls on Twitter. I say it with my chest. My face is on the video. Okay. My government name is on my page. Okay. I don't have SGA with a crown on his head as my profile picture. It's me. It's Liv. So when I say it, I mean it and I stand by it. So if that's what you're looking for on this stream, is for me to go unpin my video and crawl in a corner and feel upset and, oh my gosh, I didn't mean what I said about Russ. No, I respect the absolute hell out of Russell Westbrook, and I will continue to do so. That's the facts. Your favorite player has made mistakes and has had bad games. That's the facts of the matter. So you're not going to get that from me. I have absolutely nothing but love and respect for Russell Westbrook. Did he have a bad game? Yeah, he did. Yeah, and I'm not super thrilled about it at all. Okay, but nothing but respect. Okay. We are going to talk a little bit more but hear from Coach Malone. I've got a couple more clips. First of all, let's get some positive vibes in here. Nikola Jokic did, in fact, have a 61-point triple-double tonight. He did that, okay? This is the best player in the world. We don't have to have conversations about MVP anymore. I think we all know how that's going to end, but what we can conversate about is how good Nikola Jokic is. Despite this loss in double overtime, Nikola Jokic is still that guy. So let's listen to Coach Malone's thoughts on Nikola Jokic's 61-point performance tonight.
Yeah, if you would have told me that we're going to go to a 2 overtime game, I probably would have, gotten them out. But Nikola came up to me after the third quarter and said, Coach, I'm good. Leave me in there. I don't want to come out. Let me just keep playing. He was in a good rhythm, obviously. 61 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 2 steals. The guy is Superman. Aaron Gordon, he plays 47 minutes. Christian Brown plays 53 minutes. So I'll probably only play them around 35 minutes tomorrow night.
I think he has earned that, Nikola Jokic. We know he plays a lot of basketball for this Denver Nuggets team, and I'm sure tonight there is some frustration. We actually do know that the Denver Nuggets, on another positive note, play much better on the second game of a back-to-back. I don't know if it's just them carrying over the motivation and the momentum from the night before, whether good or bad, but we do see them play very, very well in the second game of a back-to-back. We've got one more clip from Coach Malone, and he's actually talking a little bit about the comparison of the ending of this game to the comparison of the bubble. He does address Russ individually here, so let's take a listen to what Coach Malone has to say. We'll reconvene. I'll get some comments on the screen, and we'll keep on venting. So let's check it out.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It reminded me of playing the bubble. Same situation. We had the ball with the lead, and we went in for the layup, and we missed it. And Mike Conley hit a shot that literally went in and out. And tonight it's tough. You got a 2-on-1 break. As a coach, am I up on the sideline yelling, "Don't go"? I mean, we got a layup. But it's easy to say that in hindsight because we missed the layup. And they wound up getting 3 free throws at the end. And that was a deciding, really crucial stretch of the game. But, I'll address Russ individually, but he's a pro, he's a warrior, he's a tough kid, and I think he knows that everybody in that locker room's got his back.
I do think the Denver Nuggets have established a culture where they know what Russ brings. Again, to some of the people out there that want to believe that stat lines are all that matter on a basketball team, I think you're super, super thinking about it on a very surface level. I think Russ bringing what he brought to this Nuggets team, not just from the skill set that he has and the connection and the chemistry on the floor that he has with Nikola Jokic, but also the leadership, the selflessness. These are the things that I don't see many Lakers fans talking about when it pertains to Russell Westbrook. He's a man that's involved in his community. You're not going to get me to disrespect Russell Westbrook. You're just not going to get it. That being said, was this a super, a costly performance by Russ? Absolutely it was. And do I see a world where when you've got a healthy Nuggets roster, there's going to be limited minutes for Russ when it's crunch time, do or die, back against the wall in a playoff spot? Yeah, I do think that is a possibility. Because what we have to see in the playoffs is building and establishing trust. That if your back is against the wall, you're going to make fundamentally sound decisions that are going to benefit the team. And we do see oftentimes with Russ that sometimes that doesn't always happen, right? Sometimes you do see the costly turnovers or the fouls or the missed free throws or the missed layups. But I think to anyone that was really watching this game from a broader lens and wasn't just being a hater the entire game knows that everybody, maybe outside of Nikola Jokic, I will say the free throws, I'm not sure what's going on with the free throws, but it does feel like we're missing more than we probably should. Those are free points, I always say. I'm actually going to double check just to make sure I'm not misspeaking here. Oh, they were 75%. Okay, I'm not horribly mad at that. I think one game they were 48% or like around there. I do think you want to be over 70, especially as you enter the playoffs. So they did better from the free throw line, but everybody played a role in this game getting away from the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets at one point in this game were up by 16 points, as many as 16 points they led by. And this is in true Denver Nuggets fashion, right? We see this all season long where they start off really strong and they finish really strong, but that time in between, that second and that third quarter, when they let their foot up off the gas, they allow these teams to get hot, to get on a roll, to gain momentum. And when you've got an Anthony Edwards, that's a problem. You can't allow that to happen. When you've got a team that knows how to shoot from the 3-point line and perimeter defense is not your strong suit, you can't allow them in the second and the third quarter to get momentum, to get hot, to get fired up. And that's what this Nuggets team has done all season long. So yes, it's very, very easy to look at this game, especially the tail end, right? Double overtime. But the reality of it is, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to mean it, and I hope you hear it, it should never have gone into double overtime, period. So yes, you look at double overtime and you say, hey, Russ, you kind of dropped the ball there. Yeah, Yeah, in double overtime, he did, but there was also a lot of balls being dropped in the second quarter, in the third quarter, and in the first round of overtime. So, again, this is not, we've seen this with this Nuggets team all season. We've seen this with this Nuggets team all season where the highs are really high and the lows are really low. My largest stress right now is the fact that Nikola Jokic just had a 61-point triple-double. And was it a waste? Was it a waste? That's where I'm concerned with right now, is how much of Jokic's prime, because let's not forget, he's won 3 MVP awards thus far in his career, and he is playing the best basketball he's ever played. What I fear is that you're going to start getting a frustrated version of Nikola Jokic, and I'm not sure you're going to get the best out of Nikola Jokic if he's playing frustrated basketball. I don't think you will. I think Jokic playing 50-some minutes of basketball, scoring 61 points, 10 boards, 10 assists, and it not really counting for anything is going to grow to be very tiresome and very frustrating if it hasn't already. So there's some of the worries that I have at this current moment. We have one more clip from Coach Malone. This one's a touch longer, and it's about playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. At the end of the day, the Timberwolves have the Nuggets number right now. There's no excuse. I can't sit here, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we'll get them next time. No, actually, the team I fear the most in a 7-game series right now is the Timberwolves. I fear a lot of teams in the West, and I hope you guys can have my back on that if you've been on my post-game live shows before, I am very transparent, very honest, and very critical of this Nuggets team. I fear every team in the Western Conference when it comes to who this Nuggets team could potentially face. Every single one of them. But certainly I fear the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have just had the Nuggets number, not just this season, but also last season. And when they won their championship, I always said that to me was the most competitive series that they had, was against the Timberwolves. That was the series that I feared the most. So let's check out what Coach Malone has to say, his final thoughts. This will be the last clip that we play from him on what it's like and how he feels about facing up against the Timberwolves. Let's check it out.
No, I never have. And I've been really fortunate, Ryan, as you know, in my NBA career, to coach some great players. I've been really fortunate in that regard. And Nicola's just, he's on a whole nother level, man. The guys, people say he's not athletic. Not many guys can do what he does. And just think about, I'm not just talking about the minutes, but think about what goes into those minutes and what's being placed on his shoulders each and every night. Double, tripled, he makes the right play. He trusts his teammates. The rebounding, the scoring, the assists, the steals, the putting him in pick and rolls, just all that stuff. So at one point, I said to Katie, and I said, how many minutes is he at? And she said 49. I said, oh, he's fine. I mean, I played this guy 60 minutes once. So this game was starting to be eerily reminiscent of that game in Portland, Game 3 from years ago. But, yeah, losing sucks. Losing like that really sucks. But, again, I just can't say it enough. I know there's a lot of talk. Do our guys not want to play against Minnesota? Are they scared of Minnesota? And I think hopefully tonight, I knew it, but for other people, we don't fear anybody. I mean, and I know we can beat anybody on any given night, in any matchup. So I have tremendous confidence and faith in this group. Let's try to get healthy. Let's try to get Michael Porter back. Our thoughts were with him and his family right now, and see what we can do with these 6 games to go.
So, yeah, Coach Malone, I don't share the same sentiment as you, unfortunately. Gotta love you. But I do not want to see this team ever again. To be honest with you, if we have to face the Timberwolves in a what could potentially be 7 games, I'm telling you right now, I don't know if I can even watch it, to be honest. I might just have to check the highlights on Twitter and do a post-game live where all you guys do in the chat is tell me how the game went. I was actually pretty close to turning this game off tonight. I said, I can't do this. It's 11 p.m. My heart rate is up. My blood pressure has risen. And What do I do? I just want to say this before we wrap things up. Again, I just got on Twitter again, while Coach Malone was playing that clip, and I basically said, I'm not unpinning this video. It is what it is. I don't think you guys really realize, like, not only do I think I'm relatively decent at what I do for a living, which is talking on camera and talking sports and having a good time, but I don't think you guys, of course, you don't realize, you don't know me in person. I say what I say. I say what I say, and when I say it, I mean it. I don't say anything that I don't mean at the time. But I'm also not the type of person to then be like, "Oh, I'm scared, mom. The trolls are after me. They're quote tweeting my video that I posted 5 months ago. I'm scared. Should I back out and say I didn't mean it?" No, I said it. It's been on my page it's got over 1 million impressions on Twitter. I said what I said. Like what do I look like backing down from what I said about Russell Westbrook? I know basketball well enough to know this game didn't just fall on Russell Westbrook. A lot of you that probably turned it on because the other games were over and you wanted something to watch, or your show ended and you wanted to watch some basketball, saw the tail end of this game, and yeah, it didn't look good for Russell Westbrook. And in a lot of ways, it wasn't. However, oh, here we go. Oh no. Should I choose violence or no? Don't do it, Liv. What's the point? What's the point? I don't even know what this guy looks like. What's the point? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Listen, for whatever reason that you're tuning in, one, I appreciate you, but two, Honcho, is that what your name says? I'm not really seeing that very well. Honcho, you have tuned into a post-game live reaction show for the Denver Nuggets, who I have been doing post-game live shows all season long. Welcome aboard. It's great to have you here. We have over 6,300 people here sitting and listening to a woman who knows nothing about basketball talk about the basketball game. So it's interesting to me that you have such strong opinions about my basketball knowledge or lack thereof, because you're still here. Not only are you here, but you took the time to get in the chat and use your Twitter thumbs and go crazy and leave a comment. Typically, when I click into a video and I don't like watching it, I just keep scrolling. I don't stick around. I don't keep watching somebody that knows nothing about what I want to hear about. But you're still here. Not only are you here, but you're engaged in what I'm doing, so much so that you are commenting in the chat. So I would love to welcome you here. I would love to have you back tomorrow night when we have another post-game live right here on X and on YouTube. I work for Guerrilla Sports, I'm not even up and coming, we are there, media company here in Denver. We cover all sports, Colorado Avs. We have some of the best talent in the world covering our Colorado Avalanche team. We also cover the Denver Nuggets and we cover the Denver Broncos. I've been doing this for a very long time. I worked for Colin Cowherd straight out of high school or college. I did a podcast with Debo Samuel. I worked for one of the best sports books in the country. That didn't happen by accident, Honcho, just so you know. I studied journalism in college, actually, and then I was the sports host full-time at TCU my senior year while simultaneously being a TCU showgirl. Yes, I pre-recorded everything that I had to do for the sidelines, because on the sidelines, I had to be dancing with pom-poms in my hair, flipping my hair in a tiny mini skirt. I did it all. So I appreciate you being here. If you hate my basketball knowledge, I don't know why you're still here. But I do actually love having you here. Please stay. Please stick around. Hopefully you can learn a thing or two about the knowledge that I actually do have, that I have been spewing all season long. You didn't just happen upon a podcast that I just decided to whip up on a Tuesday night. Happy April Fool's Day. This is not a joke. I do this all the time. So welcome. My resume, if you'd like me to print it and send it to you, happy to do that. I can fax it to you. Just send me the number. But I appreciate you being here. So thanks for that. I don't typically address the hate comments, but like, what I don't appreciate is like the word woman. Like, leave that out. Just, who cares? I'm talking basketball. If you don't like it, then scram. But yeah, if you'd like my resume, I'm happy to let you know what it is, but I don't really think I owe you that. So anyways, back to the basketball talk here. I did pour myself a glass of wine tonight. I told you guys I would. because I had a feeling this game was going to look this way, and it has all season. The Minnesota Timberwolves are just a roster that is designed to beat the Denver Nuggets. And in fact, they're a roster that's designed to compete with just about anyone, which is very interesting given where their seating is right now in the Western Conference. But I have been saying from the beginning, from the very start of this season, that the Western Conference was going to be a bloodbath. I knew that it would be. I think I fear the 2 seed just as much as I fear the 6 seed. I know OKC has been at the top of the West. They've been cruising. They are definitely proving to be one of the most dominant teams in the NBA right now, but they're young. They lack the same experience that maybe a Golden State Warriors team has. So the playoffs are going to be a bloodbath when it comes to the West, which is why, as a Nuggets fan, I fear no matter who we face up against, I fear them. The Lakers are another one. I know I talk a lot of trash to Lakers fans, but at any given moment, the Lakers team is terrifying to me. So you've got a lot of talent in the Western Conference specifically that I do fear that the Nuggets are going to run into. And because they lack that edge, that dog, that do or die mentality, I worry about that. And so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Every game from here on out matters. I believe the Nuggets are still technically the 3 seed behind the Houston Rockets, who went on quite a bit of a heater. What was it, like an 8-game win streak, maybe more? Yeah, Honcho, guys, Honcho is just he's bored. He hasn't gotten attention maybe from females in a minute, so he's just talking to talk. Happy to have him, but he's just yapping. I don't even know who this guy is. Let me actually get to some of the comments though, because I normally am way better about addressing. Oh my God, there's so many. I'm normally way better about getting to your guys' comments, and I just have not been tonight because I've kind of been on a roll. Let's see. Remember, blame Booth and the owners when the time comes. Oh, what's sad is I think when this Nuggets team is winning, obviously we forget about some of the things that we haven't agreed with when it comes to the front office. Full transparency, I had to tuck my tail and apologize and say, ooh, I was a little wrong about the Zeke Naji contract when we started to see valuable minutes from Zeke Naji, because he was stepping up to the plate and showing why Calvin Booth was probably holding on to that contract for so long. That being said, I do wonder, and I'm just going to put this as a wonder out there, I do wonder the type of pressure that will be applied to Coach Malone if this Nuggets team is a first-round exit this year. I think last year's playoffs was exceptionally disappointing. I don't think this year's playoffs will be any different if they don't make a deep run. If they can't make a deep run, I do think there's going to be some serious conversations about Coach Malone's future with the Denver Nuggets. I'm not saying I disagree or agree with that, but I do think that will be a conversation that they start to have. Do you think Jokic sits tomorrow? We just heard from Coach Malone. I'm not sure if you were here for that, but we did hear from Coach Malone's post-game presser comments, and he did mention that Jokic is going to have limited time in comparison. What does that mean? He'll probably still play a lot of minutes because it's Jokic, and I think he wants to play basketball as much as humanly possible, but I don't think we're going to see full minutes by Jokic against the Spurs tomorrow. He played 50-some minutes tonight, had 61 points. We need him healthy when it matters the most, which is the playoffs, and you kind of have to be strategic at this point moving forward in the ways that you do and don't play him. So I don't want to see him play a ton because I do want him to be rested and healthy when it matters the most. Last thing I'll say here, Anthony Edwards is a dog. I want to hate him so bad. I really, really want to hate him so bad, but you can't. He is just phenomenal. He has that dog in him that you see him light up, and you see him when it is backs against the wall. That is something that he possesses that the Nuggets do not. And I really, truly have nothing but respect for Anthony Edwards. And I think for a long time, he will be one of the many faces of the NBA. I'm going to say one of, because I don't think there's just one. that we have right now, but I think he will be one of many for a very long time. He is a superstar. He possesses everything he needs to be a superstar, and I think he is one of the greats in the league currently. I love watching Anthony Edwards play, even if it's at the cost of my favorite team. I still have nothing but respect for Anthony Edwards. So, okay, you guys, I will have a post-game live show tomorrow night following the Spurs game, hopefully without wine and with a smile. That's the goal. We'll see. But hopefully with a smile and without wine. And then, of course, we'll have our regularly scheduled off-court show on Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time, where we will just deep dive a little bit more into who would the Nuggets play right now if the playoffs started? You know, what does the West look like right now? What does the East look like? I don't spend a ton of time talking about the Eastern Conference, mostly because I do find the Eastern Conference to be a little less entertaining. You know, they've got the two dominant teams at the top, and then there's a lot of wiggle room below them. Whereas the West, it really does feel like at any given moment, it could be anybody that takes the West. So I am going to, we'll break down the East a little bit more on Thursday because I don't feel like I've spent a ton of time. You guys, I am so sorry. My computer died and then I was just scrambling trying to find my charger. I am so sorry. Lord have mercy. I was ranting so hard I didn't even know my computer was dead. Lord have mercy. If this is not indicative of tonight's game, I don't know what is. This stream went into double overtime and I choked. Oh my God. That's where we're at. That is where we're at. Listen, all that to say, I hope you guys can hear me. I don't know if you can. But anyway, I'm so sorry about that, guys. We had like that little glitch there. Anyhow, rough game for the Denver Nuggets. I will tell you, as much as I love my Denver Nuggets, I will sleep just fine tonight. I was actually just looking at Twitter and someone was like, she's going to have a hard time sleeping tonight. I'm really not. I'm actually going to sleep so soundly because at the end of the day, I can't want this more for the Nuggets than they want it for themselves. And it does feel like there have been a lot of games this season that have felt that way, where I want this so bad for them this season because I know what they're capable of and I know how much talent that they have on their roster. But at the end of the day, it does take an extra layer of like dog to win a championship. And I just don't know if the Nuggets possess that this year. In a game 7 situation, backs against the wall, do or die, you know, if you've got Russell Westbrook doing what Russell Westbrook did tonight in a 7-game series, it's not going to end well for the Denver Nuggets. It's just not. So I know that you are not going to get the overly biased Nuggets fan in me every time we do these post-game live shows where I sit here and I say, because they're my favorite team, yes, they're going to do it. They're going to win it all. No, I have a lot of doubts. And those of you that have tuned in with me many times before for these post-game shows know I've been very transparent about that. I've been very honest about where my Nuggets stand in comparison to the rest of the Western Conference and also in comparison to who they were in 2023. So there's a lot of work to be done here. I think what's the most disappointing about it all is that you're getting the best basketball humanly possible out of Nikola Jokic right now. And I would hate for that to go to waste. So that would be the only thing that I think I struggle with is that, you know, are we wasting Jokic prime right now? I think Jokic has definitely more in the bag for sure. And he is, you know, one of one. We're going to continue to watch him play phenomenal basketball until his career is over, but would love to see, you know, them take advantage and capitalize off of Jokic playing the best basketball we've seen, in my opinion, in this modern era. I know LeBron James still exists, but I just think they're very different players, and Jokic brings something that is insanely unique. There's a reason people call him a unicorn. He is just that. So it does feel like in games like this, it just feels like what a waste. 61-point triple-double, what a waste. It feels like it went right down the drain. So it is what it is. I can't control the Denver Nuggets. I love them to death. I will continue to cover them and give my thoughts and watch them and cheer for them and be their biggest fans. But I will also be very transparent when I think that things aren't trending in a good direction. And right now it doesn't feel like they are. That's just me being fully transparent. We see really great basketball out of this team when they're playing against teams that aren't that impressive. And when we watch them play against teams that are impressive, we don't get the best basketball out of them. So you got to do with that what you will, and just take it for what it is. I'm sure all night long I will be getting chirped by Lakers fans and beyond. One for my Russell Westbrook take and video that is still pinned to my profile, yes, and it will not be unpinned from my profile. If that is what you're expecting, forget it. You don't know me at all, whatsoever. So you don't got to worry about that. It will not be unpinned. I said what I said. I meant what I said. I will always stand by what I say. That is actually one of the reasons that I am successful in what I do. I stand by what I say. It's my face in my profile picture. It's my government name in my profile. I sit in front of a camera and say a lot of things that other people are scared to say. And if I'm wrong, I'm willing to admit that. And the one thing I will say before we get out of here is that a lot of Lakers fans warned me about what Russ looks like in the playoffs versus in the regular season, and the highs being really high and the lows being really low. And I'm seeing some of that, of course. The turnovers being costly. Tonight is a great example in double overtime. So I hear you. I see you. I'm not denying what you said. And I get it. But you're not going to see me disrespect a 17-year veteran in the league who has been an MVP and made many all-star appearances and is one of the greatest in his prime. You're not going to see me disrespect him over a game that never should have gone into double overtime. Point blank, period. If you watch this game, you know for a fact it should have never gone into double overtime. That's the facts. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. I am wrong a lot. I say a lot of things, but one of the beautiful things that I can hold on to in my job and in my career is that, yes, while I may say a lot of things that are wrong, I had the courage to say them, and not everybody can say that. So I'm good with that. I still love this Denver Nuggets team. I still think Nikola Jokic is the best basketball player in the world. I still have nothing but respect for Russell Westbrook. Of course, would love to see Jamal Murray back and healthy, MPJ as well. But yeah, that's all I've got. That's all I've got. I'm not gonna backtrack on the things that I've said, because when I said them, I meant them. And you'll just never find that from me. So for those of you that are always tuning into my post-game live shows, I love you and I appreciate you. And those of you that this is your first time and you don't agree with a lot of the things I said, but you're still here hanging out, I also appreciate you a lot. Thank you so much. I love what I do. I love basketball just like you do. I'm not always going to say the right things, but like I said, I'm up at midnight with my face on camera talking to you about basketball because it's what I love to do. So love it or hate it, I'm going to continue to do it. We'll be live again tomorrow night following the game against the Spurs. Oh my gosh. I guess the good news is the regular season is almost over. So if the Nuggets continue to struggle to win basketball games, we don't have to torture ourselves through these regular season games. But that being said, the playoffs are right around the corner. So the torture is not over just yet. And I say torture not because watching the Nuggets is torturous, but because the stress that I put on myself with these games is just too much. It's just too much. I can't. I'm way too emotionally invested in everything in my life. It's either 0 or 100 with me. You can ask any of my friends or family members that. If we aren't friends anymore, it's no hard feelings. You are dead to me. No offense, but I just don't care. I'm over it. I shut it down. But if I love you, it's 100%. So when I love my Nuggets, I am in it 100%, which means, yeah, I do get a little riled up and the blood pressure goes up and I'm pouring glasses of wine. So cheers to being a Nuggets fan, being a basketball fan, most importantly. At the end of the day, this was good basketball, okay? It did not end how I wanted it to end, but this was good basketball. And for whatever reason, every time the Nuggets and the Timberwolves play, it feels like a 7-game playoff series. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me working myself up that way, but it does feel that way every single time. So whatever. Some of this I need to just just chill at the end of the day. It does not matter. It does not affect your life that much. So appreciate you guys tons. I'll be live again tomorrow night following the Spurs game, and then we'll have a not a post game show. That is happening tomorrow night, and then we'll have a regularly scheduled off-court show 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time on Thursday to break down all things Western Conference as well as Eastern Conference. So again, love you guys tons. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been another post-game live reaction show, a Guerrilla Sports off-court show with Liv Moods. And this is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. If you want to save some money, head to trustedamerican.com. They will get you a better interest rate, lower your monthly payment. Shout out to our friends over at Trusted American for all that they do to help people save some money. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. Lots of love. Go Nuggets always. And we will see you tomorrow night. Bye.